What's up, you guys? Welcome to another episode of The Adventures of an Entrepreneur. I'm super excited to have our guest today. You guys get ready. It is going to be a wow factor. You're going to hear this young, polished professional talk about how he got into the business that he's in, and he's going to just give us, and he's going to drop all kinds of like highlights and all kinds of things and success and challenges and all kinds of stuff. Plus, if you want someone faith-based, it doesn't get any deeper than Mr. Luis. So welcome, Luis.
Thank you, Bryan. I appreciate it. For everybody, my name is Luis Laguna. I'm working for Cornerstone, 23 years old. My mom is from El Salvador and my father's from Nicaragua. Bryan, I would like to thank you for, just bringing me on the show. Appreciate it.
So you're 23 years old.
23. Actually, I'm getting ahead of myself because my birthday is next Monday, the 30th of December 30th. So getting to 23, I'm already trying to get my head start to it, but I'm 22 right now, jumping into 23.
So, and how long have you been with Cornerstone?
I've been with Cornerstone, I would say about 4 years now. Yeah.
So 4 years ago, you were 19.
I was 19. Yeah, I was 19. I'm going to be honest. I'm just kind of getting into Cornerstone, how I kind of got into it. I was young ever since I was kind of in high school. Didn't really know what I wanted to do.
Yeah. Didn't
know what direction to go into or anything like that. An opportunity came to work with this company. I made sure to stay in school as well. But then after that, I've always was working with the company and going to school as well. So I was working part-time and then going to school full-time with it.
So where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Silver Spring, Maryland. So I still live there right now to this day, but I always commute from Maryland and Virginia. For me, it's like 40-minute drive in order for me to get there, but I've been doing it for such a long time that I feel like it's like 20 minutes at this point.
Actually, Silver Spring. So Silver Spring had a deli, BJ Pumpernickel's.
Okay.
Had you ever heard of it?
I've never heard of it. No.
I think it was me.
Okay.
I will tell you, if you ever wanted the best sandwiches, deli, whatever, BJ Pumpernickel's. I don't think it's there anymore, but Luis, I will tell you, I was born and raised in Northern Virginia. Yeah. I'm telling you right now, born in Manassas, raised in Burke, but going up to, had you ever heard of Leisure World?
Leisure World, yes, I have.
So my grandparents used to live in Leisure World, and when we go up every Sunday, we'd stop at PJ Pumpernickel's, or there was a Chinese restaurant called Hunan Duck.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know, but you're gonna have to send me a list, send me all the addresses. Okay. I'm gonna have to go for sure.
So Silver Spring down to Virginia. What made you come to Virginia? Like how'd you get connected there?
So basically what it is that we've had conversations before. I have one of my churches here. Well, the church, my main church that I go to, and that is La Biblia Church Ministries. I've been going there.
Plug. Look at you plugging the church.
I know, right?
Everyone join the church. Okay.
I've gone there all my life. So I love the community. I love the people. My mom used to live over here for a short time in Virginia, but then after that we moved out. We had family in Maryland, so we moved out. But after that, we just love the church so much that we always stayed in Virginia, and I've connected with a lot of the people here in Virginia. And my hope, this coming years, that I will be, moving down to Virginia one day. So I really am looking for that.
Love that. Yeah. And how did you get connected with Cornerstone?
Cornerstone. So at the church that I was at, there's a guy named Douglas Hernandez that is the owner of Cornerstone, and he's been my mentor ever since I was a kid, and he's helped me out tremendously. He helped me out in my spiritual walk with Christ. But then after that, he kind of guided me, and I needed direction on where I need to go. He's a hustler, a very successful business owner. I love the way that I've seen him work in business. So I asked him, and I told him, hey, I'm looking for direction. He's told me, Luis, I've helped you out spiritually, but now I kind of want to help you out in your profession. I want to guide you and help you out in your walk here. So that's how he helped me. He brought me into Cornerstone, and then after that, I've just been working with him ever since. So I do. It's good to have a mentor. I think that's very important for people to understand. And I've always realized that as such a young age, I've always wanted a mentor to be able to guide, to be able to help. And he's taken me under his wing.
Well, it sounds like he's such a giver.
Yeah.
So like someone that's built his own practice, how did he start his own business? How did he get in?
So his grandfather was in flooring. His father was in flooring. Now he's in flooring, and he's the one who kind of took that one step to kind of just open up the business as well. So like I said, I've had conversations with him. I've seen the way he works. It's hard work, it's dedication, it's the love, the passion, not that we have for flooring necessarily, but for the business aspect of it all.
There is something about the smell of flooring. I know it sounds weird,
Yeah.
but like the smell of brand new carpet,
Yep.
dude, there is not, I would literally work in a flooring store. If there was a showroom or something, have you ever smelled, you smell it because you're around flooring
all the time. Yeah. All
and
the time.
I'm kind of one of those weird people. Like if you get a brand new book, I'll open the book in the middle of the book, smell the glue from the page. Like that is so me.
Yeah.
But like smelling new flooring, how often do you smell new floor?
You know what? It's pretty often. For me personally, I love to see the transition.
Ooh.
From where the project started off. Kind of, I'm not a designer or anything like that. We have our designers on hand that we typically use.
Sure.
But seeing how it was the before and after photos of certain projects, and to know that you can be a part of something like that, it's an amazing feeling, and to feel it feels accomplished at the end of the day. You feel accomplished.
It's almost like starting a business.
Yeah.
And you see the transformation from a business in its infancy stage all the way to the next growth, which is the next stage, to maturity. And you start seeing that. So just like with the projects that you work with clients and the type of flooring that you see the before and after, you also get a chance to see that transformation.
Exactly.
And so like for you who worked for someone that basically went on his own, followed his grandfather, his father's steps to launch his own flooring company, you came in under his wing, and now you're being mentored. You're learning how the ins and outs of a business run. You're learning from this entrepreneur, which is really, really cool.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, and I've noticed this with a lot of business owners, they're so busy, they don't take the time to mentor others. Or they're so busy just trying to get new business, they don't take the time to say, you know what, what's my legacy gonna be? How do I have impact? How do I influence? And so it's really, really exciting. Why I'm so excited to have you here today is being able to talk about like how he has taken you under his wing to really show you what those steps are, how to groom you, and then also encourage you to go ahead and continue to grow and learn and educate and scale.
Yeah,
super pumping.
I think that's very important, because I actually went to school for, I got my bachelor's in business administration. Let me tell you right now, it is completely different from being able to learn something in school and then practicing what you do, or, having that hands-on experience is two completely different things. And it's funny because everything that I was learning in school, I was already doing here at the business. I was always, doing it from day to day. So not saying that, I love the educational, I love to be able to go to school and everything and get that under my belt. But for me to actually learn and be there, be a part of the business, see it grow, I think that's even better for me.
For sure. So where did you go to school?
I went to UMGC, University of Maryland Global Campus.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, but I went to Montgomery College over there in Silver Spring.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I agree with you. What you learn in school is sometimes not as practical or applicable into the real world. What would you say your biggest challenge is?
Biggest challenge, starting off, I think it was, I was so fresh, I was so green to the industry. First, being able to learn some of the product knowledge, the information that goes with what you are trying to sell.
For sure.
But then at the end of the day, finding the clientele as well. I can tell you, I've been to a lot of business, events. I've been to a lot of networking events. I've been to a lot of, let's say, night chapters and everything. And it's kind of just like that one saying, is like mud on the wall. Just if you're just there in every single one of those events, then something's eventually gonna come. But it was very difficult to go to all of these events because, they're not all successful events. They're not the best events as well. So trying to find that good clientele, connecting with the right people, that was very difficult.
Well, and so for you, as you got into this business, it was all about acquiring new clients, but also brand awareness. It was also marketing. So you went to different networking events, Chamber of Commerce events. BNI is a business networking organization that works and brings together each week businesses to really be able to network with one another and be able to build a rapport to help build businesses and referrals, etc. For you, it was all about, okay, I'm gonna grind. I'm gonna get as much exposure as I possibly can in order to go ahead. But it was a grind, it was a challenge because you were like, I don't know a whole lot. I'm just gonna go out there and just literally put myself out there and see what happens.
Yep.
What's fun for you? What would you say is fun?
So what I love to do, I love to travel. Going back to the faith base, I always have to bring it out, but I love to be with my church community. I am part of this church council as well. What we do is we go to different states, just visiting different churches, motivating a lot of the youth within my area. I'm the president of the youth council as well.
Wow.
So being able to be there, meet different people. I love meeting new people, speaking with new people as well, and just having a great conversation. I think I'm in a stage in my life now where I just like to have good and deep conversations with people. I just cherish it and I see the value of it as well.
You said at this time in your life,
Yes.
you're 23.
Yes.
You're like at this stage of my, I'm 50, dude. Like I got a stage. I got multiple stages. You're
Yeah.
like at this stage, I'm like, you're 23. Luis, like you got a long way, but you know what? Look at how mature you are. And look at what the business has taught you about relationship building and how to connect. So I always wonder, especially going to church. My wife and I go to church, a local church, and it's interesting because being born and raised Jewish and now following Christ and really just getting really faith-based, do you pass out your cards at church and you like promote? I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding, Luis. Like, you got to be careful to delineate that, right?
Yeah.
But like, do you have crossover? Do you ever get or receive clients from that? Like, even though that's not the intention,
Yeah.
is that kind of an overflow because you're such a likable person?
I think that some people, they just know you and they know that the industry, they know Doug and they know what he does as well. I think it's kind of the opposite at times because we actually work with a lot of the people within our church. So we bring in a lot of those installers. We bring in a lot of the flooring, people who know the industry as well. So in a way, it's a great connection because, hey, we need people to fulfill our work. We have these good contracts and everything, but we need people to be able to, do the work for us. So in a way, it's helped us out a lot tremendously because now we have people that we know, that we respect,
Sure.
and they're reliable at the end of the day that we would, we can use as well.
Well, if you think about it, a lot of businesses try not to go ahead and delineate, and they say, okay, business is business, fun is fun. For you all, it sounds like you integrate, you basically bring both the personal side along with the business side, and it kind of intertwines. It's almost like this symbiotic relationship between work, church, fun, etc.
We see it, and then there's also, to an extent, just to be honest and transparent as well.
Okay,
That
like you
there-
don't have a billboard that's behind, the statue of Jesus and
No,
not having any of that.
But then
which
our
is
name
good.
is Cornerstone at the end of the day.
Which
So,
is?
faith-based, that Jesus is the cornerstone.
You know what? Okay, so there is some intentionality.
Yeah.
So that's really important too. When you launch your own business, what does the company name represent? What do you want that name to portray out to the market? And then what's the meaning behind the name? I think a name of a business really does hold a lot to it. It also builds the brand, and that's really the foundation of how you promote the business, how you position the business in the marketplace.
Of course.
Have you ever done mission?
I've never done it, but I really want to do it. Yeah, I'm very intrigued into doing a missions trip.
I've always wanted to have a mission to space, but I'm just kidding. Do not want to go. I'd never want to go to space. Like a lot of people, I want to go to space. I have enough space on Earth to go check out other missions and other things. I have no desire to go to space on a mission. That is not my thing.
That's funny.
Which is crazy. So what does 5 years look like for you?
5 years. 5 years. I want to be able to eventually run a business as well, and then have a family, have a home. And I think that for me, I'm not a person, I am ambitious to a degree, but I know when to stay content in a way. And for me personally, I think that that's the person. I envision a Luis. It's a long list, a lot of goals, but a Luis, a successful Luis, a Luis that can look back now and think of all the hard work that we've done up to this moment, and can reflect and look back and say it was worth it at the end of the day. I think that's what I'm looking for.
And you went third person. You're
Yeah.
like, Luis is going to, I was like, third person. It reminds me of that Seinfeld episode where George Costanza, did you ever watch Seinfeld?
I know about Seinfeld. Is the main character, I'm assuming?
Yeah, well, and George is like one of the supporting cast where he talked about George in the third person. He's like, George is not happy. George is not like this. George is like, and so you just went George on me. Like, you just went like, I'm Luis. Luis is going to look like this. Luis is going to have this. Luis is ground. I'm like, Luis, you are Luis. Like, it's good. Plus, the amount of wisdom you have at 23 is blowing my mind. Where does this come from? Is this from parents? Is this from your circles? Like, how are you this grounded? At 23, most 23-year-olds do not talk like you talk.
I think I've always hung out with like older people as well. I've always been the younger one in the group as well. And I think that now looking back at it, it was kind of with a purpose. But I think that, I don't know, I did hang out with a lot of people, you know, my age, but I just kind of just associated myself a lot with those older people. And I love it. You know, I love speaking to them, having good conversation with them, but then also just life, you know, life treats you out some type of ways and you just feel things, and life just hits you hard sometimes for the fact that you have to mature on your own.
You know, it's interesting you say that, Luis, because what I'm hearing is whether you run your own business, whether you work for someone, it's about the associations. And so the more we can associate with people that are a little bit further than us, that are a little bit older, that have more wisdom, it will help us really help us develop and really grow and be a little more mature as well. I mean, imagine if you were hanging out with people that are 10, 15, 20, 30 years that can bring their experience and their wisdom.
Yeah.
How much even more polished and more refined you could be. I love it. Actually, if you were going to say the goal and the kind of business you would launch, what would it be?
The goal and the business that I just want to...
Yeah, what kind of business? You said 5 years now, I'm going to have my own business. What would it be?
I think I do like the industry that I'm in right now, whether we can try to open up a new location of Cornerstone. We do have a showroom that we have. We have a location in Lorton, but just building that off and then creating another one in Maryland, possibly another one down in Manassas, wherever it may be, just to have different locations of us. We want to grow the business, and I think that we have all the capabilities, we have all the team, the personnel to be able to grow it as well.
So if you were gonna say, now you're 19, you're looking back as a 19-year-old, what would be one thing you would have done differently? Like over the past 4 years at Cornerstone, in the flooring company, what would be one thing you personally would do differently, or you would have done?
Being more intentional with the prospects, being more intentional with who I'm trying to sell this product to, because like I said, going down to different networking events, finding just random people, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, we want to be intentional with who we're selling some of these products to at the end of the day. So I think that was the most important part for me. Like if I can go back now, knowing who is the people I want to be able to sell this product to.
Okay. Actually, and Luis, if you were going to say, Luis is now 10 years older, where's Luis living? And where, if Cornerstone, your goal is to help expand Cornerstone and obviously run one of those locations or get into the business with your current owner, what would you say 10 years from now, what would that look like? Who are you serving? You know, when you talked about it a few minutes ago, you were talking about like, the leads I'm trying to get, the sales I'm trying to get. Sounds like you've really matured and now have built relationships where you get consistent business. And so if you're going to say the business 10 years from now, what does the business look like? Where is it serving outside? Is it outside of Maryland, DC, Virginia? Are you doing more than just flooring? What is your vision?
No, that's a great question. I think now what we have seen, we do still specialize in flooring, but about as of 2 years ago, we are now in the general contracting scene as well. So at least for us, we were a lot of subs for a larger, general contractors, like let's say Scott Long, you have a lot of Advantage, Hit Contracting. But I think at the end of the day, what we're trying to become is those contractors that we're the ones that people have to come get contracts or build proposals for us. We're the ones submitting it directly to the client. That's what I see Cornerstone being. We're transitioning from Cornerstone Floor Covering to Cornerstone GC, and I think we're going in the right direction, servicing now flooring, painting, doing bathroom remodeling, drywall. We practically do it all, electrical and plumbing as well.
So a hack, I would say, as we wrap up, is not only focus on what you're really good at, but if there's opportunities to scale or expand the business or service offerings, always look for opportunities in the marketplace to be able to go ahead and serve the clients.
100%. Yep.
I love it. So you guys, check out Luis with Cornerstone. Super cool. 23 years old. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Subscribe to this podcast. Oh my gosh, you guys. Luis, you are awesome. Thank you so much for being on today. And
thank you so much, Bryan. Appreciate you.
Thank you for educating me and mentoring me. I learned a little bit today.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on.